Good morning and welcome back to Coffee and Headlines. We begin another week. Today is Monday, October 5th, and we get together here live on Facebook every single day of the week to share headlines, stories, comments, suggestions, tips, and all kinds of good stuff to have an awesome life here in Puerto Vallarta as an English-speaking community. Most of you are familiar to the broadcast, but if you're new, please let us know that you're new by writing the word new in your comment, and that way we'll be able to give you a proper welcome. And my name, of course, is Paco, and it's a pleasure to meet you. It's a pleasure that you join us. And if you happen to be around yesterday when we had our Sunday Fun Day, boy, you guys were in rare form. It was absolutely funny because yesterday we had everything from pooping hippopotami to cursing parrots to tops that want to be bottoms to bottoms that want to be tops to male stripper etiquette to peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with the jelly on top and butter. I mean, you guys were absolutely funny yesterday. So I wanted to let you know how much I appreciated. Hold on just a second. Why can you not hear me? Hang in there. Whoa. Maybe that's better. Maybe that's better. Yes, I think I just needed to push a button, and I hope you can hear me now. Anyhow, is volume better? Yes, volume is high. Now, apparently I can see that volume is fine. So this is really, really good. Please confirm that you can hear me okay. And of course, good. Volume is with us. I'm sorry I didn't pay attention to the little lights this morning. Anyhow, it's great to see all of you joining. We have great news to share, not so good news to share. It is Monday after all. We have to start the week with some sobering stuff after a wonderful weekend. I hope you all had a great weekend. Yesterday, after Sunday Fun Day, I proceeded to spend the day working because, of course, Saturday I had taken the day off, and it was great to get caught up with projects and this and that and the other. Michael, how is that repertoire of yours going? I want to know every little detail. Tommy, it's great to see you. I miss you and hope you guys will come back soon. Kelly is in Colorado. Great. It's great to see you. It's great to see you guys from all over the place. I think microphone stuff. We've gotten that taken care of. Okay. Sunday and Fun Day was fun. Blah, blah. Yes, forest fires still happening elsewhere. This is very, very sad. Anyhow, today, of course, we're going to start with our news about the numbers for COVID-19. I can hear you much better now, Diane. Maybe turn your volume up a little bit. I'm just kidding. Oh no, Michael is going to sing It's Raining Men. Oh, it's raining men. Hallelujah. I'm going to love that. Anyhow, let's get started because we have news. And of course, Mondays are always great. Here we were thinking we were doing so well. Oh, I skipped a little news thing, but that's okay. We might as well get going with the news. We were thinking we were doing so well, and bam, the governor once again threatened the population, saying that We are slacking, and the governor has a point. We continue to reduce hospital occupation, and the number of beds is increasing, the number of beds available to patients. However, the number of active cases went up again this week. If you look at the numbers from last week we had 317.4 active cases, which jumped to 360 this week. Last week we had 590 beds occupied. This week the number is lower, but again, it seems clear because this number has been increasing over the past couple of weeks. It seems clear to me that clearly we're not taking enough care of ourselves and our loved ones. So, folks, let's remember that this can happen. This has happened in Paris. This is happening in New York. Governments, this is happening in Spain. Governments once again taking harsh measures to close things again and to confine people again. So let us be mindful of this, and let us be mindful of the fact that it is in our hands to keep this from happening. Looking at the other charts from the week, we see that our mortality rate continues to be well below national average, Mexico City being at the top of the list. We also see that the number of active cases, again, it's increasing. It used to be much lower. It used to be on this side of the scale a few weeks ago. And now it is over here, closer to the average in the country. The highest continues to be Baja California Sur. And of course, the number of accumulated cases, we continue to have a small number of cases. Nonetheless, it is thought-provoking to learn that the number of active cases is increasing. As you know, in related news, the Malecon was reopened to the public halfway through the week last week, but the amphitheater at Los Arcos was closed over the weekend. As it turns out, the first performers to flock back to the amphitheater was the local clowns who like to entertain the audiences and so forth and so on. And according to this report from Noticias PV, the clowns were asked to watch for sanitary measures among the audience and to actually make a statement as to how people needed to look after their own safety and wear a face mask and this, that, and the other. Well, apparently the clowns didn't do such a thing, and there are some photos here of people gathering closer than should be recommended, and the city ended up closing down the amphitheater again. That is unfortunate, but if this is what the city has to do, then it's what the city has to do to make sure that we understand that we need to continue to be careful through this. Elsewhere in the country, as we begin the holiday season means that there are a number of flower producers out there wondering, are our crops going to be in vain? This is a farmer surrounded by cempasúchil flowers, and these yellow flowers are the traditional flowers used for Day of the Dead. These are the flowers that traditionally in Mexico we bring to graveyards, cemeteries as an offering to our deceased. And of course, it's not only the cempasúchil growers, the poinsettia flower growers are also concerned because, of course, Christmas is coming and the plants are extremely popular. Let us hope that their crops will not be wasted in any way. Of course, talking about the holidays is something that is keeping a lot of people increasingly concerned because, one thing is to plan for something that you're going to do tomorrow and you can do tomorrow in your own city. But when it comes to traveling either to Puerto Vallarta or elsewhere, all kinds of questions are starting to arise as to how are we going to be able to celebrate the holidays safely this year. And of course, there was an interesting interview with Dr. Fauci in the United States that I'm going to share with you so that you can see what kind of guidelines are being suggested for the holidays this year. Dr. Fauci himself says we haven't even begun to address it. When he was asked how his family was preparing for winter get togethers, he has no idea how or if he's going to get together with his loved ones this holiday season. So, of course, for those of us that are here in Puerto Vallarta, we start getting ready to receive a bunch of people. And these questions are going to continue to be increasingly important as we move forward through the following weeks. A little bit of good news locally is to see that part of the maintenance work that is being done at Isla Rio Cuale involves bringing in new plants to the areas that are being remodeled and re-landscaped. New plants are being brought into the park so that when the isla is ready for us to enjoy, we will have new trees growing in the isla. In contrast, unfortunately, we found out that a beautiful tree in El Tuito that was over 100 years old was chopped down for no apparent reason. This tree, I know this tree because it is in front of a hotel that I used to visit quite frequently called Jardín del Tuito. And it is just sad. It was on Matamoros Street in El Tuito, and it is unfortunate that the authorities felt it was necessary to remove the tree. Before we move on with more news and headlines, let me take a quick look at your comments to make sure that we're not missing anything important. I'm sorry to hear about your sister, Michael. I hope she goes through a quick recovery, and I'm glad to hear that your test was negative. How do you have 0.4 of a case, John? These are numbers per number of cases per millions of inhabitants. So these are averages. These are mathematical calculations. So I guess that's how you have 0.4 of a case. Let's see. It seems like the governor has been threatening to push the button for months. This is true, Steve, but if it happens that the numbers go up, there will be no choice but to do something about it. The reason I mentioned that this is happening in Europe, in Paris, it's happening again. It's happening in Madrid. It's happening in certain areas of New York. It's because I am sure that the governors or the authorities in these cities have been like the boy who cried wolf. And I'm sure that once they found themselves without any other reason, without any other choice, they simply had to go ahead and push back with the economic recovery and push back with our liberties and our ability to get out and about. Again, let us hope that this is not the case. And Pilar brings up an important comment. Yes, this is what the governor said yesterday. And he blamed it. He didn't quite blame, because again, the politicians try to keep things as peaceful as possible. But he has very specifically mentioned people that are going out at night, people that are going to venues, younger people that think they are above the disease. So it is something that I hope people take into account. Diane says it would be nice to see Nayarit on your chart too, please, since we make up a large volume of our audience. Again, Diane, these are charts that are provided by the government of Jalisco. The government of Jalisco has chosen to go about the numbers on their own terms. The government of Nayarit does not have such charts, because the government of Nayarit does not make them available as such to the public. If they were, I would gladly mention them, because yes, I am aware of the fact that despite the fact that we are a Puerto Vallarta program, there are a lot of people that tune in from Nayarit, and we appreciate that very much. But again, unfortunately, we cannot present charts that don't exist. Let's see. Ran around the Malecon this morning. Only about 50% were wearing face masks. Unfortunately, that doesn't surprise me, Julie. That seems to be the case. Excuse me. The muted coughs of the morning. Come on, guys, keep your Trump comments out of the conversation. Um, it's tempting, I know, but let's not talk about him. He does not here, not deserves it. How about do you think? How thought about how thought about you? Just thought about how you think Black Friday in the United States will go. Um, well, I've seen horrible videos of Black Friday, of people like standing outside of stores and just going crazy when they go in and people trampling over each other. Um, I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. Um, nice trip report from Lisa. Thank you very much. Um, how can you not expect people to go out if the nightclubs are open? I'm not prepared to answer that question, William. And again, unfortunately, we cannot dive into big debates here. All I know is we know what we're supposed to do. We know how to take care of ourselves. We know how to take care of our loved ones. It is a personal choice whether we choose to go or not, whether the clubs are open or closed. We make the decision to fuck up, or we make the decision to be responsible. It is a personal choice. How is Luna? Luna is wonderful, but she is absent right now. She is making oatmeal for the two of us as I speak. Um, oh, thank you very much. This is a great wish. Wishing our friends Tom and Luis much success as they open Bar Frida in their new location today. Absolutely. Tom and Luis break a leg. Frida is a very popular bar here in town. I am sure that they're going to go about it the responsible way and that they will be mindful of the guidelines as they should. Okay, so let's continue with headlines because I'm caught up with your remarks. We stopped at the tree in El Tuito and we continue with, given the latest headlines, I don't know to get excited or to get frightened about this because in the next 15 days, we can expect 460 flights arriving in Puerto Vallarta. Tourism is recovering. Yes, it is. And the number of active cases is increasing. So, it's, I don't know what to tell you. I just wish that people that are coming, which is great that people are coming back to Puerto Vallarta, I just wish people understood how important it is to continue to be mindful of this. Oh, William, you are trying to engage me, and I am not going to go there, William. I am just not going to go there. If people are that stupid, then no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to go there. Keep it to yourself, William. Let's see. What else do we have? Oh, this is just an interesting article that caught my attention. It came from Wired magazine, has nothing to do with anything. But as we're looking at reinventing our future and improving our cities and stuff like that, this great article on Wired talks about how cities and citizens create hostile environments by creating objects like this one that says go away. We create these things so that people cannot crash on them or fall asleep on them. And there's a good side to that. And there's also the not so good side to that. Or take a look at these benches in some other city. These are called the Camden bench. I don't know where they're located, but these are designed in such a way in which it's absolutely impossible to lay down. So it's an interesting look at how cities are being built. And without thinking about it, I seem to have jumped into the leisurely stuff. So let us not forget to talk about the weather. It's 26 degrees, feels like 28. Not a lot warmer. Why? Because humidity is down again. It's 56%. It is 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and we have zero chance of rain. But this is good. The humidity is starting to decrease, and this is all really good. This is all really good. It's going to be humid through the day today, humid through the day tomorrow, and humid through the day on Wednesday. Let us hope, if that is the case, that humidity will continue to be on the low end of the spectrum and or at least continuing to decrease. Let me take a quick look about everything that we're talking about. Uh, La 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 la. The airport was hopping last week. Where's the new location? It is where Manny's used to have their restaurant. Oh dear, I forget the exact location. Would be the new location for Frida's, but we will. I will add them to the show notes today so that you can find out about this. There's another question about where the new location is for Frida's. Joey from the Gay Guides has mixed feelings about the tourism coming back. And, I wish I didn't, but I must say, given the latest numbers, on the one hand, I am happy. On the other hand, I also have mixed feelings. So, what is the best thing we can do? Well, again, we know what the worst thing we can do is. And the worst thing we can do as individual private citizens is to engage tourism on our own. We're not the authority. The best thing that we can do is to encourage our authorities to do their job. And if we have friends that are hotel owners, restaurant owners, shop owners, just and there are good friends, and we feel comfortable talking to them. Let us just remind our business owner friends how important it is that they do what they're supposed to do to ensure that people that are catering to them understand what the limitations are. But again, for the third time or fifth time or as many times as it is necessary, it is a personal responsibility issue, at least in my opinion. Nobody can tell us what to do. Ultimately, the best thing we can do is to inform people and help people understand how this is really important for all of us. Yes, that is the case. And again, I'll share the information for Frida's. La la la. Gav says, I had to water my plants today for the first time in months. Yes, it's going to stop raining pretty soon. Are there a lot of notices at the airport on COVID taking temperatures? I can imagine that there are. I haven't been to the airport because I haven't been anywhere. But again, I just can't imagine the airport not being very, very restrictive. Thank you very much for that answer, Lisa. This helps everybody. And yes, there's a lot of stores in this town that will not let you in, as they should, if you're not wearing a face mask. So this is a good thing to hear. What is a good source for data on COVID cases per 100,000 in PV? Oh, Christina. Well, again, the good source for data on COVID cases per 100,000 in PV, for me, is the government, because the government is the entity responsible for providing those numbers. Are there other places where one can get that information? I don't know. I don't think so. And I will volunteer the following. If there were, Christina, would that make a difference? Would you behave differently today if you had a good source for data when we all know what we have to do? Wear a face mask, stay safe, maintain safe distance, and only go out for what is necessary. I mean, that has not changed. That has been the same thing. So the numbers that we have here are as good as they get. Christina, if you find better numbers, or if you can tell us how better numbers make your life better today, I would love to hear what that is about. I really, really would. Here's the new address for Frida's, but again, I will put their Facebook page on the show notes, as I've mentioned. All you have to do, Alan, is look around. I mean, we just don't do as much of that as we used to. I myself, even only my best friends, and I do the hugging and the kissing and the cheek stuff, knowing that we have this agreement that we will do this, but it's definitely going to change the way we interact with one another. Live by example, absolutely, Dot. This is very, very important. Let's see. Does anyone produce an English newspaper or newsletter weekly to highlight new places, new bars, new restaurants, new markets, grand openings? It's always nice to know what's new. Oh, Paula, you almost slapped me. What? This is not a newspaper. This is not a newsletter, although we publish a newsletter. So I certainly hope that our project here does a fair amount of what you're looking for. If it doesn't, there are others. There is the Tribune, there's the Mirror, there's all these other local newspapers. But I would think that you already know that. But maybe you don't. Maybe you're a tourist. I'm not sure. But yeah, there are local resources. There are local resources. Let's see what else. Let's see what else. No temperature taking at airport. Oh dear, no temperature taking at airport, but set the scene of social distancing very well. Okay, okay. I hope we can have a couple of drinks when I get to PV in November. Is that before or after the trip to the male stripper? Oh no, I don't know if you were here yesterday, Kelly, but I'm not. I'm not dragging you to a male stripper bar if you were not here yesterday. Anyhow, that's right. Folks are nervous to travel and looking to follow rules. We are all in this together. We know what the rules are. Who sells the best brownies and American desserts? Oh, American desserts? American desserts? What is an American dessert? Um, there's a lot of bakeries, Paulina, but I is there what is an American dessert? I have to think about that because I'm not entirely sure that I know what that is. Even though I've lived in the States for so many years. I mean, maybe it's apple pie. I'm not entirely sure. But there, we have tons of bakeries. We have tons of bakeries. We don't do huggies or kisses anymore, not even with friends. I'm not blaming you. What is going on in Frida's old location? I understand that the building is sold, and I'm not surprised if it goes condos. Um, will the Katrinas be put up along the Malecon for Dia de Muertos? Do you expect anyone going out for Halloween this year? Well, Grace, these are the big questions because nobody knows for a fact what's going to happen. See, the Malecon opened to people to for people to walk by freely last week, and 3 days later, the amphitheater was closed because people didn't know how to follow guidelines. So, will the government actually let for all these outdoor festivities take place? It is a huge mystery, and we will only be able to get clarity on that on a day-to-day basis as we see how other things in Mexico and in Puerto Vallarta are going to continue to open. Um, what are the COVID rules for public transportation? The COVID rules for public transportation, William, are that buses, and I'm going to fuck this up because I'm sure they have changed. Drivers should be face masked, passengers should be face masked, and I believe that there shouldn't be standing passengers on the buses. I mean, the buses shouldn't be crowded. Now, whether this is actually being enforced and followed or not, I would have to be a bus driver to know for a fact, but I have personally chosen not to hop on the buses just yet. Um, um, I'm glad you said that and not me, Michael. um, but I will say, if pecan pie and pumpkin pie are good American desserts, I can definitely appreciate a good pecan pie and a good pumpkin pie. And I guess I side with both positions. If you come here looking for American desserts, you will find them, but also take some time to learn about Mexican desserts. You will find them both. Absolutely. Boom, parim, pam, pam. We made a wonderful new pal prior to our travel. Felix Jacom. Felix helped us with groceries and took us to all yummy family-owned businesses. Is there a place I can recommend him for other tourists? Well, I'm sure, Lisa, that people will be intrigued as to who this person is and whether he's a driver or a concierge or whatever. You're always welcome to make these kinds of recommendations here. There are a number of Facebook groups that have to do with Puerto Vallarta where people will appreciate this kind of information, but you're always welcome to make that recommendation here. Absolutely. Um, Steve brings up a good point. Temperature check says that you don't have temperature at the moment, but you could have been infected the day before and you wouldn't know it. Absolutely, absolutely. Let's see. Let's see. Can't you enjoy both sides of dessert? I personally can. I personally can. Um, but it reminds me of when we were talking about wines the other day. People that come here looking for California wines, without realizing that there could be all kinds of wonderful world wines that they could enjoy here. But anyhow, I mean, to each his own. If you what you have to have is American dessert, have American dessert, and thank God we have plenty of choices to find that all over the Bay. Let's see. Um, Eric has. We are diving into desserts. American donuts are better than Mexican style donuts. Well, yes, absolutely. It's a different style of donut. I think I like them both. Let's see. Curious if you have. What's that? Curious if you have contacts in the city to pass on our fill in the blank. Pass on our tip jar, pass on our congratulations, pass on our condolences. I'm being silly and I shouldn't be. I still have two more pieces of news to share with you, but I am almost to the end of your comments. Flan, absolutely. Casa Madero Wines, absolutely. Rob begs to differ on the donuts. I also beg to differ, but I didn't want to go there because I just didn't want to go there. Anyhow, I seem to have two more. Um, Hold on. Whoops, pass on our comments and experiences. Well, Casa Bellavista, you're always welcome to share here, as you know. Anyhow, let me go back to the last two headlines that I have to share with you. Of course, speaking of the airport, the federal government is now entering this new mindset of removing names of buildings that are names of people that are actually that committed criminal acts against Mexico. And the name of our airport is Gustavo Diaz Ordaz, and Gustavo Diaz Ordaz is the name of our infamous president that was in charge of the country when the horrible killing of the student massacre of 1968 took place here in Mexico. So now they are going about making sure that all kinds of federal government-oriented businesses change their name. So what the new name of our airport is going to be remains a mystery. Somebody even suggested that we call him Vicente Fernandez after the singer. Somebody suggested, were the name suggestions in this article or in the other? I don't know. I just hope they don't call it Pee-wee, the Pee-wee Airport. Although I would call it the Pee-wee Airport, but that's just because I'm silly. Anyhow, enough about that. And the last headline that I have to share with you. Oh, speaking of dessert, I found this article in English from El Universal that argues that arroz con leche is Mexico's most popular dessert. I'm not so sure that I agree, but it was nice to read about arroz con leche and to see this lady, this famous YouTuber. I forget her name, but she is this lady that started sharing traditional Mexican recipes from her ranch, and she is huge now. So I'm going to leave a link to this article so that you can enjoy it on your own time. Let's see. If we leave you a free drink tab at some bar or coffee shop in Zona Romantica, would that be okay? Or do you have your preferred locations? I don't know if you're referring to me, Paulina, but no, it's not like I'm out and about. Well, first of all, don't feel obligated to leave me a free drink anywhere. I mean, that's really sweet of you, but no, you don't have to do that. You certainly don't. Only flan in Mexico. I think we've started a huge debate on Mexican desserts. Maybe we should find a way to tackle that topic in a constructive way. Yes, a little article feature on where the best Mexican desserts can be found around town. And I knew I would push your button, Trucha. I did that intentionally, and I'm glad you took the bait. I really am. Let's see. Yes, Doña Angela, that's the name of the YouTuber lady. She is absolutely wonderful. Anyhow, buy Pacua coffee. I love it. My own fans are reminding me that sometimes I don't toot my horn enough, so I'm going to toot my horn because we've reached the end of the broadcast. If you're still here, all 171 of you, that means you're finding something wonderful here. And to produce something wonderful here, I just ask that you are mindful of the fact that we are a community supported project. Without the community support, there wouldn't be any Buy Me a Coffee. I mean, there wouldn't be any coffee and headlines. So there are several ways in which you can support this project. Number one, if you go to buymeacoffee.com/Ojeda Paco, you can become an ongoing member for not that much money, actually. Or you can go in repeatedly and buy me as many coffees as you want. That's entirely up to you. You can also support this project simply by hitting like or follow. By hitting like or follow on Facebook or on YouTube, you are creating the opportunity for the algorithms to work in such a way that these broadcasts reach more and more people. Last but not least, if word of mouth is huge in this town, and we love it, we also hate it sometimes, but word of mouth is very important to us. So if you find it in your space, your time, your community to mention Coffee and Headlines, it is always appreciated. So that's Coffee and Headlines for today, October 5th. I hope the rest of your day is truly, truly awesome. I hope you'll stay hungry. I hope you'll stay craving a nice dessert. And I hope you'll stay healthy and kind and patient. And most importantly, I hope you will stay in touch. And I hope to see you again tomorrow. Have a great day.